You are going to die. I am going to die. Everyone you know is going to die. And though it sounds harsh, that is the most powerful truth there is for learning to truly live. The ancient Stoics knew this. That is why Marcus Aurelius, emperor of the greatest empire in the world, always kept the simple idea present. Memento Mori, remember that you will die. Not to grow depressed, but to wake up. Because when you truly accept that your time is running out, everything changes. You stop postponing, you stop fearing, you stop wasting your days on things that do not matter. The awareness of death, properly understood, is not a shadow that darkens life. It is a light that illuminates it. It is the sharpest tool for cutting away the trivial and keeping only the essential. In this video, you will discover 7 truths about death that, far from saddening you, will push you to live with more intensity, more courage, and more meaning. 7 truths that will forever change how you see your time, your priorities, and your life. These are not ideas for fearing the end. They are ideas for not missing the path. So breathe deep, open your mind, and prepare your heart, because the first truth begins right now. The first truth about death is that only death gives value to every instant you live. Think for a moment about something infinite, something that never ends. The infinite has no price because there will always be more of it. But your time is not like that. Your time is limited, and that is why it is the most valuable thing you own. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations that every hour could be the last, and he did not say it to frighten himself, but to wake himself up. When you truly understand that your days are numbered, an ordinary morning stops being ordinary. The cup of coffee, the conversation with someone you love, the light coming through the window, all of it takes on a weight you did not see before. Death is not the opposite of life. It is what makes life precious. A diamond is valuable because it is rare. Your days are valuable because they are finite. Imagine you lived forever. You would postpone everything, because there would always be one more tomorrow. It is precisely because you will die that every choice carries weight, every hour counts, every gesture matters. Seneca said we are not given a short life, but we make it short by wasting it. So the question is not how much time you have, but what you do with the time you have. Tonight, before you sleep, look at the day that just passed and ask yourself whether you lived it or simply let it run. Live today as if you knew the true price of every hour, because that price is exactly what death teaches you. The second truth is that you do not really fear death. You fear not having lived. Stop and look at that fear honestly. When you imagine the end, what truly terrifies you is not ceasing to exist, but reaching that moment and realizing you postponed everything that mattered. You fear the dreams you never chased, the words you never said, the person you could have been and were not. That is what hurts, not death itself. Seneca observed that many men reach the end of their life without having truly begun it. They spent decades existing, but they never lived. Stoicism invites you to turn that fear around and use it as fuel. If it scares you to die without having lived, then the solution is clear and it is in your hands today, live. Take the step you have been delaying for years. Repair the broken relationship. Start the project that frightens you. Say what you keep silent. The fear of death, properly understood, does not paralyze you, it pushes you. It is an alarm reminding you that the clock is running and that you are still in time. Marcus Aurelius told himself not to fear death, but to fear never having begun to live according to reason. Death only frightens the one who has a life still unopened. So open yours. Live today in such a way that, if the end came tomorrow, you would not be left with the worst feeling of all, that of having missed your own life while being alive. The third truth is that remembering death frees you from everything trivial. Think about how much energy you spend each day on things that do not matter. The absurd argument online, the opinion of someone you do not even respect, the neighbor's car, the comment that bothered you 3 days ago, and you are still chewing on it. Now imagine you had only 1 year of life left. Suddenly, almost none of that makes sense. The awareness of death works like a brutal, clean filter that separates the essential from the accessory. Marcus Aurelius constantly asked himself whether the thing disturbing him would have any importance against the immensity of time. It almost never did. When you remember that you are going to die, you stop taking small offenses so seriously, the minor setbacks, the worries you will not even remember tomorrow. It is not that you stop feeling, it is that you learn not to waste your limited life on what does not deserve it. Seneca said we lose more time than we think, not because life is short, but because we squander enormous pieces of it on nonsense. Death, properly remembered, gives you back your perspective. It makes you release heavy grudges, empty ambitions that do not fulfill you, fears of what others will say that chain you. Today, when something angers or distresses you, ask the Stoic question: in 100 years, when neither you nor anyone in this story exists, will this matter at all? Live light. Let go of the trivial, and save your heart for what truly deserves your life. The fourth truth is that death makes all men equal, and in that equality there is a deep lesson of humility and peace. Think of the great names of history. Kings who ruled empires, feared generals, admired sages, the richest and most powerful men of their time. All of them, without exception, died just as the humblest of mortals will die. Alexander the Great conquered the known world and ended up as dust, like his servant. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of the greatest empire on earth, reminded himself that soon he would be only a name, and then not even that. This truth might seem bleak, but the Stoics saw it as a liberation. If death awaits all of us equally, then fame, status, accumulated wealth are nothing but temporary decorations. No grave is more eternal for being made of marble. This does not crush you, it frees you. It frees you from envy toward the one who has more, because his end will be identical to yours. It frees you from arrogance if you have much, because none of it will go with you. And it reminds you of the only thing you can truly carry to the end: your character, your integrity, the way you treated others. Seneca said that death levels us all. So stop measuring yourself by what you own or by what others own. Live today, cultivating the one thing death cannot shamefully turn into dust: the quality of your soul. The fifth truth is that postponing is stealing your own life from yourself. Every time you say, "I will do it tomorrow," you are handing a piece of your existence to a future you are not guaranteed. Seneca wrote it with a clarity that still hurts. While we postpone life, life passes. We wait for the perfect moment to begin, the ideal conditions, the right mood, and meanwhile the days pile up without truly being lived. Think about how many things you keep putting off. The call you do not make, the change you do not start, the decision you know you must make, but keep delaying for a future version of yourself who will have more time, more courage, more energy. But that version never arrives, because procrastination is a habit, not a circumstance. The Stoic does not wait. Marcus Aurelius demanded of himself to do each thing as if it were the last thing he would ever do. Not for drama, but because he understood that the only moment that exists is now. The past is gone and the future is not guaranteed. The only real thing is this instant. To postpone is to act as if you had infinite time, and you do not. Every morning you delay something important, you are giving away days to a death that will one day arrive without warning. The Stoic question is brutal but necessary. If this thing you are postponing truly matters, why not now? Today, choose one single thing you have been avoiding and take the first step, however small. Do not live like someone who has centuries. Live like someone who knows that his time is now. The sixth truth is that death is not a punishment nor an injustice, but the most natural thing in the world. Observe nature calmly. The leaves sprout in spring, live their summer and fall in autumn, and no one weeps for a leaf that completes its cycle. The sun rises and sets each day. The waves come and withdraw. Everything that exists follows the same rhythm of appearing and disappearing. You are not an exception to that law. You are a part of it. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself constantly, to die is something nature wills, and nothing that nature wills can be bad. Seeing it this way changes your relationship with the end. It is not an enemy coming to rob you. It is the natural close of a process that began the day you were born. Just as you do not feel outrage because a flower withers, the Stoics invited you not to feel outrage at your own end. Seneca said no man can die before his time, because you were never going to live longer than the span you were given. This serenity is not sad resignation, it is wisdom. When you stop fighting against something inevitable, you free an enormous amount of energy you were spending on fear, and that energy you can use to better live the time you do have. Accepting death as natural does not bring you closer to it. It reconciles you with life. Today, look around you and observe the cycles of nature calmly. You are part of that same beautiful order. Live at peace with it, because fighting against the inevitable only embitters the time you have left. The seventh and final truth is the most important of all. Live in such a way that death finds you at peace. All the previous truths point to this one. What good is it to know that time is valuable, that you must not postpone, that death is natural, if you do not turn that knowledge into a way of living? The ultimate aim of the Stoic Memento Mori is not to dwell on death morbidly, but to live so fully and with such integrity that, when the end comes, you can look back without regret. Marcus Aurelius told himself that a man who has lived well can leave life with the same serenity with which an actor leaves the stage after a good performance. The point is not to live many years, but to live them well. Seneca insisted that what matters is not the length of life, but its quality. A short life lived with virtue is worth more than a long one wasted. So the question that should guide you each day is this: if you died tonight, would you leave at peace with how you live today? Did you treat your loved ones well? Were you honest? Did you do something that truly matters? Did you forgive, love, dare? This truth does not ask you for perfection. It asks you for direction. It asks you to live each day in a way that builds a life you will not be ashamed of at the end. That is the secret reward of remembering death. It does not fill you with fear. It fills you with purpose. Today, live in such a way that, if death knocked on your door, you could open it calmly and say that you lived, that you loved, and that it was good. These 7 truths are not here to sadden you, but to give you life back. Remembering that you will die gives value to every instant, kills the fear of not having lived, frees you from the trivial, levels you with humility alongside all men, cures you of postponing, and reconciles you with the natural close of the end. And all of it points to one single thing: to live today in such a way that death finds you at peace. Do not wait for tomorrow to start truly living. The only moment you have is now. Use the awareness of your own death not as a shadow, but as a light that illuminates what truly matters. Tomorrow, when you wake, remember Memento Mori, and live that day as the gift it is. If this video has made you see your time differently, hit the like button and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom every night. Good night, and live well.